Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books from Book of the Month Club and beyond. I'm your host, I'm Renee, and today I have for you a review of a new book by someone who has written their first novel. This is the first book. This book is called Goyhood, and it is by Reuven Fenton. I was sent an advance copy in electronic form for me to review from Mr. Fenton. He reached out to me and asked me if I'd mind reviewing it. I researched a little bit of information about him and about the book, and I agreed to go ahead and take a look at it for him. So, Mr. Fenton, let's talk about him a little bit. Reuven Fenton. He is a reporter for the New York Post. Again, this is his first novel. However, he did write a work of nonfiction, which is entitled Stolen Years, Stories of the Wrongfully Imprisoned. And that book is highly rated on Amazon and Goodreads. So this is a photo here of Reuven Fenton. That will probably be, I guess, on the back page of the actual printed copy. And let me show you the cover. I've shown the cover one time before, I believe, but it's an interesting cover. So let's talk a little bit about that for a second. This is the cover here. I actually like it a lot. The colors are really nice in it. It has such a great road trip vibe, nice cover. And I really like the little yarmulke on the top of the G there. So I thought that was a nice cover. Now, I think that the title of the book, Goyhood, is very creative, and I think that will provoke some attention in and of itself. Goy, of course, is simply a term for a non-Jew, but like most religious or cultural terms, it can be used as a pejorative or a slang term, slam term, or slam term. But in this case, it's not at all meant to be that way. In fact, one of the strengths to me of this book is the author's ability to inject a sometimes wry sense of humor into the different scenes and the different subject matter in this book. So, what's the story about? Well, it's about twin men who are now in their middle age. And for all intents and purposes, let's say that they're Jewish. One is very devout, and the other not so much. However, they weren't told that they were Jewish until they were about 12 years old. And that was when their mom, who was raising the boys as a single mom, had started a friendship with a rabbi. And when she introduced him to her boys, she told the boys that they indeed were Jewish. So this premise is all set up in the preface of the book. The actual story begins with the death of their mother. Her name is Ida May. And when Ida May passes, these two twins, their names are David and Marty. However, Marty has changed his name to a more Jewish name of Mayer. And so they, end up returning to the area where they grew up in Georgia to attend the funeral of their mom. And as happens in so many families, the two men have not spent a lot of time together since they were children. And the death of their mom, of course, begins to bring up feelings in them and reveal some secrets to them that kind of cause them both in their own ways to go into a type of midlife crisis. So this is the point where the road trip begins for David and Mayer. And the fun really begins for the reader, because what happens is they end up renting a bright red Dodge Charger, which is a bit of a cliche when it comes to a midlife crisis. However, who could really resist a bright red Dodge Charger? And they begin to take a very circuitous route, if you will, from Georgia up to Brooklyn. They have with them first their mom in cremated form, and then they also have with them a one-eyed dog named Popeye, who they found on their way tied to a utility pole by the side of the road. And then later, they acquire an old friend of David's who is planning to hike the Appalachian Trail. And now, even though she has some history with David, she kind of slowly begins to bond a little bit with Mayer because they have a mutual love of bird watching. So there's quite a few things going on in this story. And now remember that all this time, the two brothers are very different from each other. But they are brothers, actually twins after all. So their bond is really the rock on which the story is built ultimately. And to me, the best scenes in the book are when they're either fighting or learning about each other or kind of both. So in all, as far as my review and my rating of this book, I think that it deserves 4 of 5 stars. And that's how I'll rate it on Goodreads. For me, it seems it's a solid first effort, and I think that a lot of people would enjoy the story. Besides the relationship between the two men, I especially appreciated, as I said, the kind of offbeat humor. I like the quirky characters. I like the twists and turns that come up in the lives of the characters. And you're never really sure what's going to happen here. And I like that element of unpredictability. So there's also in the book a lot of good old fashioned rock and roll songs that are mentioned. And just, you know, when they talked about them in the situation they were in on this road trip, it really made me want to listen to the music. And so one thing I might suggest if you read the book is to look in the back, find a list of songs, and make yourself a little playlist. I think that that would add a really fun element to the book. And then also, while you're, you know, doing a little research, you might want to look up some of the biblical references that are in the back of the book as well, because I think that would add a little bit to already have some idea of what ones are going to come up where. I think that all of that would add like a nice little touch to the reading. So, you know, there's not many of them. Also, one thing that I would caution, and I really think you should do, is to be prepared to brush up on your collection of Yiddish words, because I found myself having to look up many words that are used in the book. But it's definitely worth the extra minute or so it takes to do that. So this book will be available for purchase for everyone on May 28th, and I'll put a link in my description. And Mr. Fenton, I want to say thank you to you for trusting me with an advance copy and to do a review of your book. And I wish you the best of luck with it. Congratulations. So as always, thank you to all of you for watching, subscribing, commenting, etc. Your support is very much appreciated, and have a great day.